and clients, select an outcome is the easier bit. Helping them work towards achieving that outcome is where things begin to get a little trickier. And that is exactly the reason why the plan of action becomes really important. How to create that plan of action and ensure that the client actually acts upon the same is what we will look at in this video. But before that, go ahead and subscribe to this channel so that we can share more valuable resources that will help you develop powerful therapeutic skills. If you have already subscribed, do share this video with other mental health practitioners on social networks and WhatsApp groups. Now, when it comes to therapy and clients, there are two types of plan of actions that we need to focus on. The first type includes things that the client needs to do to achieve their outcome. And the second type includes the changes that the client needs to undergo to be able to do the things that are included in the first type. Wait, what does that really mean? Let us take an example. Let's say the client wants to manage weight. The first plan of action would include all that the client needs to do to manage their weight. I'm sure you can think of all the things that would be a part of this plan of action. Getting up in the morning, exercising, eating healthy food, avoiding junk food or too much of sweets, meditation or relaxation or self-hypnosis for improving mental state, going for a therapy if there are emotional reasons associated to weight, and such other things. Once the client is able to create this plan of action, you will notice that some things from this plan the client is already doing or is confident of doing by themselves. But there will also be certain things that the client will find difficult to do. For example, the client may say that I will be able to wake up early, but I just don't feel like going for an exercise. The client may also say that I don't know what do we really mean by healthy food and hence I need some help with that. Also, the client may say that I can avoid junk food, but sweets I will not be able to. When I look at the sweet, I feel a sense of craving that I can't control. I keep thinking just one more piece, and by the time I come to my senses, I have already eaten many pieces. In order to do the things that the client is not able to do, the client needs to either get more clarity about what needs to be done or take steps to manage their thoughts or manage their emotions and cravings, or in some cases, the client may need to develop some skills or organize some resources. All these things that the client needs to do the things that are a part of the first plan of action becomes a part of the second plan of action. Now that we know what these two types of plan of actions are, let us quickly look at the key features of these plans. First, the plan of action must include all the things that the client needs to do to achieve the outcome. Whether they feel they will be able to do these things or not is something that we will look at later on. Second, the plan of action must be so specific in detail that at any point of time, even a 6-year-old child should be able to look at that plan and understand what are the next 3 steps that they need to take and how they would take those steps. Third, the plan of action should include the hindrances that can stop the client from acting upon the action plan, be it clarity, skills, resources, or mental state. Fourth, it should also include the steps that the client needs to take to overcome these hindrances. And fifth, as far as possible, each task on the plan of action should include details about when the task needs to be completed. For one-time tasks, you can ask the client the date and the time by when the client will complete the task. And for ongoing tasks, you can ask the client about the time, the duration, and the frequency at which the client will do the task. Or you could also ask the client how would they know it is time for them to do those tasks. Now that I have covered the 2 different types of plan of actions and also the key features of the same, do let me know if you have any questions and I would be more than happy to answer the same in the coming video. Do remember that while what we are covering in these videos is very useful and very effective, this is also just the tip of the iceberg. If you're really ready to take the next step towards becoming a very effective therapist and towards creating an emotionally and financially fulfilling career as a therapist, then check out the Cognitive Hypnotic Psychotherapy Diploma. If you would like to get started with something more basic but something that you will immediately be able to apply, then check out our online anxiety certification course. By the time you complete these courses, you would be amazed at what you will be able to achieve with what you have learned from these courses. To know about what our past participants have to say about our courses, do check out the course pages. In this video, we have looked at the types of plan of actions and its key features. In the next video, I will walk you through the step-by-step process that you can follow to help the clients create an actionable plan of action. If you would like to be notified about the next video, do watch this space and follow us. I would also request you to join us in this mission to help mental health practitioners develop advanced therapeutic skills. You can do so by liking this video, commenting on it, and sharing it with your friends and your colleagues.